Braves Vision.
Welcome back to San Diego for Game 3 of the series. Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Truist. Braves and Padres from Petco Park. Atlanta trying to avoid the sweep tonight here against San Diego. Brandon Gaudin back with C.J. Nikowski here in the broadcast booth at Petco Park. Hello again, friends. Martin Perez gets the ball tonight for Atlanta to try to stop this mini skid. Last time Perez was on the mound, it was that thrilling game, Braves-Brewers, and he outdueled Jacob Mizorowski.
He was up for the moment. We need him now to be up for the moment in this one. You mentioned that little losing streak right now for the Atlanta Braves, and no better guy. Who thought we'd be to this point? But there is no better guy than Martin Perez to have in this spot. He has stepped up in big spots. Remember, from the bullpen to the rotation, a little bit of back and forth. He never complained once, and now he is paying it off with how good he has been. So great in the last one. We'd love to see a great version here today against the Padres. On the other side, J.P. Sears will be making his 2026 debut for the San Diego Padres, a guy who spent some time up there in Oakland with the A's. There were some struggles a year ago, and there were some struggles in the minor leagues this year as well. Right-handed hitters absolutely went off against J.P. Sears.
Yeah, but speaking of lefties against Sears, the Braves, when they have faced lefties this year, have done extremely well.
It's been a non-issue, and something we talked about with guys like Drake Baldwin, even though he's not in the lineup tonight. Matt Olson, Michael Harris has been great. Take a look at the ranks here. MLB ranks for the Braves against left-handed pitching for our lefties. The most doubles, the most home runs in baseball. They have been slugging, and they've been hitting the baseball hard. Both of those numbers, second best in the game.
When we come back, Mauricio Dubon, home run last night. He continues to have the best season of his career. Is it the Dubonic plague? Wiley wanted to call it Yabba Dabba Dubon. Whatever it is, Wiley's going to talk about Mauricio when we get back.
Instead, someone should help her.
CarShield. Protection. It counts.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Xfinity. Reliable Wi-Fi at one price. Xfinity, imagine that. By Delta Airlines, keep climbing. And by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply.
Another perfect early evening here in San Diego. Braves and Padres, the series finale from Petco Park. Mauricio Dubon leading off for the Braves this evening, and he did it again last night. Another home run, another multi-hit game. This has been a trend we've seen from Mauricio really since the season began, and we're approaching the halfway point. Let's take a look at our Papa John's key ingredients, and he's having a career year. On base percentage, .316, best in any season. He's had at least 200 plate appearances. You see the power. How about the pull rate too? That's one of the lowest marks of his career, and he's finding a way to do it all offensively. I had a chance to catch it with Tim Hires, who had Mauricio back when he was first signed as a Red Sox minor leaguer, and asked him what it's been like to watch him reach his full potential.
When I was with him with the Red Sox, it was like you could tell he was going to be a big leaguer and a guy that was going to impact, the major leagues and impact the team. He's just a team guy. He has such good instincts, as you're seeing now, and what a clutch player, and that, kind of that internal clock that is just really impressive when he was a young player and now, being an established major leaguer.
His walk rate's the highest it's been in his career. He's pulling the ball less than he ever has in his career. What have you seen from him? What has changed in your mind about his approach this season?
I think what he says is he's getting consistent at bats, and that's really helped him out. He prepares really well, and that's credit to him. He understands the pitchers, what they're trying to do to him. He's always prepared, and I think that's part of him growing as a hitter and the walk rate going up.
He's hit 5 homers this month, still got a week left. That's a career high for him in a month. What's been behind the power surge?
Just kind of talking about what he says is consistent at bats. He's finding his groove. He feels, he's helping the team. He's got his confidence. His swing feels really good, and I think he's getting some pretty good pitches, and I think that's part of it.
Not only is he popular inside of Braves country, he's popular inside the clubhouse as well. One of the favorite teammates, according to everyone in that room for the Braves. They'll look to salvage this series with a win on a Wednesday night in San Diego. Mauricio Dubon leads off, and Martin Perez making another start here at Petco Park.
Injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
You're watching the Atlanta Braves on Braves Vision.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. By Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. And by Alpha Insurance, your winning lineup for auto, home, life, and health. Bit of an unusual start time tonight, 5:40 local, 8:40 back east, but regardless of when the first pitch is, the weather is always the same. 70 degrees and sunny as the Braves get ready to take on the Padres on this Wednesday evening here from Petco Park. Racetrack brings you this lineup. You will notice no Drake Baldwin with him struggling. Walt Weiss figured it'd be a nice time to get him a little bit of a breather. Mauricio Dubon, a home run yesterday. He's off to another great start this month, and now toward the end of the month continuing to provide for this Atlanta offense. And he will lead it off against the lefty that is on the mound, and that lefty is J.P. Sears. Season debut, called up from AAA. He has a lot of major league experience, CJ, but this year in the minors, you can see the numbers. He was struggling.
They have not been particularly strong for him, and I think the issue, of course, also pitching in the PCL, you're always going to see those kind of higher pitcher numbers. It is a deep repertoire. He's got that four-seam fastball, sits around 93 miles an hour, slider, changeup, sweeper, cutter, and a two-seam fastball all in the mix.
What do you have for the Ford Keys tonight?
Well, I don't know if you remember the show, but 8 is enough. You remember that one? You're looking at me sideways. You don't. 8 straight losses here at Petco for the Atlanta Braves. That's enough. No more. And how about a little Martin magic? He has been so good for this team. Probably need him to get a little bit deeper in the game. We know some of the things that are going on with the bullpen. We need him to be elite, like that guy right there in the red shirt. That's what we take from Martin. But he has been excellent all year long.
One of the stars in 8 is enough is Dick Van Patten, by the way.
Right.
All right, let's get you the defense. Brought to you by Car Shield. Taylor Merrill Bowen gets to start his first start of the series out in right field. Machado has been the difference maker. He had the homer in game 1 of the series, and then yesterday he had the walk-off RBI hit in the 10th inning. Keep your eye on Freddie Fermin back behind the dish. He's returning from a concussion, has not played in 11 days, but activated from the IL, and he is the battery mate of J.P. Sears.
I kind of test ran the 8 is enough by my wife today, and she said, yeah, probably 50 and over they're going to be in on it, nobody else.
Connie Needham, just looking at some of the stars of that show here on the Google machine. Sears is ready, we're ready, we hope you're ready, and away we go. Dan Bellino is the crew chief, and he is your home plate umpire here tonight.
He's been pretty good this year where he has gotten wide like a lot of umpires, top of the zone, bottom of the zone. He's been a little bit more aggressive in his strike call.
Dan Bellino, by the way, he's a little bit of umpire royalty. He's the president of the MLB Umpires Association. He is also a practicing lawyer in the offseason. So Dan Bellino, he can do it all back there.
Tough to win an argument against Dan Bellino right there
right.
For your pitchers and your hitters and your catchers.
So Dubon, that homer yesterday, now 5 home runs this month. That is the most homers in any month in the career of Mauricio Dubon. Lines it to center. At the last second, you saw Merrill adjust. He's also dealing with some shadows out in center, but he makes the catch.
I'll tell you what, off the bat, I thought this was a hit, and then to see Jackson Merrill not move very much, I was thinking, oh, maybe he's got a bad read. It was sinking fast, but he recovered quickly to make the catch.
We told you yesterday, but the Padres, they did commit 1 error yesterday, but still the fewest errors in Major League Baseball, 25 of them. for a Padres team that is 4 games over 500 right now after winning the first 2 in this series.
There's the guy that made the error, and this is the guy that was hitting at the time. Michael Harris had that fly ball that was kind of down the right field line that went off the glove of Fernando Tatis Jr.
And if you were with us last night, Tatis was so frustrated by making the error that he threw his glove into the stands, so he's got a new glove tonight. Michael had a nice 3-hit game yesterday. He's battling here. No balls and 2 strikes. I believe all 3 of those hits for him yesterday with 2 strikes. I know the first 2.
A couple of 0-2 hits, and then it was a 1-2 count when Michael's 3rd hit was that double that he hit in the 6th inning.
So J.P. Sears, the 30-year-old lefty, making that season debut. But again, he's had over 100 big league starts, so plenty of time at the big league level, just not this year. Sweeper going away from Harris, and he flies out to Taylor. But on paper, you would think this should be a pretty good matchup for the Braves.
Yeah, again, so you got a guy coming to the big leagues for the first time this year, but you have all that experience, but it's not an overpowering arm. The Braves have hammered lefties this year. We talked about that in the open, a guy who was not throwing the ball well in the minor leagues. All of it does seem like it should work in the favor of the Braves. What was happening with those righties, he really struggled against everybody. But thinking about some of the righties that will be in the lineup tonight, it was nearly a .350 batting average against J.P. Sears.
Almost all of his time at the big league level was with the A's. He was part of that Mason Miller trade at the deadline last year. Made 5 starts for the Padres down the stretch. Struggled and started this year in AAA. 2-0 here to Ozzie.
And the only real changes from a year ago for Sears, at least what we see in the minor league data, is that he wasn't throwing his curveball anymore. Still, again, a really deep repertoire with the 6 pitches that you get, but it was actually 7 last year, but it looks like he shelled that curveball from a year ago.
Ozzie gets a 4-seam fastball. Each outfielder catches a pop here in the first inning, and the Braves go in order. Bottom of the first, Petco Park is the spot here on June 24th. Let's get you the lineup for the Padres, and first-year skipper Craig Stammen. Racetrack bringing you this lineup. And Machado batting third. The third baseman has been the difference maker, as we mentioned, in the first 2 games of this series. But it all starts with Tatis against the veteran Martin Perez, who did have some time here in San Diego at the end of 24, so he is back in a familiar spot.
And he's on a really nice run right now. He has won all 4 of his last starts, 21 innings, with just 1 home run allowed.
And the last time that he won 5 straight starts, you have to go back to 2017 with the Rangers, but a chance to do that tonight for Martin Perez. Riley running in and making a great play to get Tatis. Car shield defense here for the Atlanta Braves. So Dubon back out in left. That's where Dom Smith was yesterday. And a welcome back to Ha-Seong Kim. Obviously, he's been here the last couple of days, but now starting, very familiar with this infield here, 4 years as a Padre. I was talking with Ha-Seong before the game through his translator, David, and asking about some of his favorite memories. And said he got a lot, but he does remember very vividly when they would chant Ha-Seong Kim, Ha-Seong Kim.
I'd be curious to see. I think he'll get a good ovation when his time to hit comes up. These fans really did love him when he was here, and now they get a chance to see him. And maybe this is the kind of place that could get him going, right? Go back to where you are familiar. You got a left-handed pitcher who is on the mound, a place that you've been comfortable. maybe this is what it'll take to get Ha-Seong Kim right.
They won a Gold Glove here back in 23, did Kim. Taylor getting ahead here 3-0. 3 balls, 1 strike. Once on a 3-1 pitch. He's got great speed, but not great enough. That is tremendous by Martin Perez to pop off the mound and field his position.
One for the old guys right here at 35 years old. And Martin Perez, you got the youngster with the really great speed, as you mentioned. Picture perfect from Martin Perez. You get around the baseball as you're fielding it. You plant that back leg, and he fires a strike over to Matt Olson. The lefty's got to work a little bit harder on those bunts that are on the third base side to get in the proper position to throw.
7 pitches to get 2 outs, and now here is Machado, the solo homer Monday in the 4th inning. The Padres winning 1-0, and then the walk-off RBI single in the 10th yesterday. In that very interesting 7-6 game, where 9 of the 13 runs were scored in the 2nd inning.
Obviously, that is one of those innings that kind of blows things out of proportion a little bit, but looking at the month of June, there have been a handful of second innings that have gone sideways on the Braves. That what we saw yesterday was one of the worst ones. They have an even 12 ERA in the month of June in the 2nd inning.
And for whatever reason, a bit of an Achilles heel with the 1st inning for both pitchers. No problem here on this Wednesday night. Second inning, no action in the 1st. We begin the 2nd by going down and talking to Wiley Ballard.
Well, Brandon, one of the storylines last night was the Braves' limited bullpen. Now, they've made a few changes to the roster today. J.R. Ritchie was optioned back to AAA after his start. Tyler Kinley was reinstated from the injured list after suffering some elbow soreness, so he's back in the bullpen. And Ian Hamilton has been recalled as well. Carlos Carrasco, after short relief last night, was DFA'd. So those are the changes. Bullpen a little stronger. And some other news, too. Ronaldo Lopez is going to start Friday, so he no longer in the pen.
And pretty interesting. And Lopez saying before the game, CJ, that, and we'll talk about this more on Friday, but he's expecting to go about 3 innings or 60 pitches in that start.
Yeah, and I think he's got to be excited also to get back into the rotation. I think we felt all along that he wanted to be in the rotation. The Braves got to handle that workload a little bit, and there's a need that's come up.
There's the first hit of the ball game. It is off the bat of Matt Olson.
We talked about the left-on-left success here for the Atlanta Braves and how good they have been in our open. And here goes Matt Olson, that 4-seam fastball just at 93 miles an hour. You're not going to get overwhelmed by velocity here from J.P. Sears.
And now Austin Riley, 3 hits in the series so far. But to go back to that conversation about the bullpen, Walt Weiss did say Robert Suarez dealing with a sore forearm, so he was trying to stay away from him yesterday. And 50-50 is how Walt framed it as to whether or not he could pitch tonight.
Yeah, which tells you that you'd like to avoid him if you could, right? If you can give him an extra day. Clearly it's not an IL situation right now, which is very good news. But they will be a little bit thin, but you also get those reinforcements, as we've talked about here. Tyler Kinley, that's a big activation. I'll be curious to see Ian Hamilton. He had just a 1 shot to 1 game, kind of felt bad for him. There'd been a lot of turnover at the time for the Atlanta Braves bullpen, but he's been throwing the ball well over the last couple of months. 16 punch outs for him over 14 innings.
And again, you've got 2 of the best bullpens, if not the 2 best bullpens in baseball here between the Padres and Braves. So as this game continues to push toward the late innings, just keep that in the back of your mind. Two balls and 2 strikes here for Riley. Swing and a miss, 93 up. First strikeout for Sears.
Elevated probably just off the plate, but Austin Riley chases it and cannot get to it.
And were you saying that's where Sears will target the hitters more, a little up?
So he knows he can't live in the zone. And when you have a four-seamer that sits at that velocity, he does not have good induced vertical breaks. You're not necessarily talking about a lot of ride. Now he has a little bit of a lower arm angle, so he can go up there. I don't think he wants his four-seamer in the zone. It's somewhat similar to Martin, where he's going to try to live around the edges. But you'll get more of a mix from J.P. Sears. I think that fastball, for the most part, he'll use as a chase pitch around the edges and off. Behind the count, I think you see something off speed in the zone.
There's something off speed, a changeup. 0-2 here to Eli White. A catch by Bowen with the shades on. You can see those Sears will give up balls in the air. That's already 4 balls hit in the air to this Padres outfield.
Yeah, a year ago when he was in the big leagues, we talked about those starts for him, 27 between the A's and the Padres. It was just a 30% ground ball rate with your league average, somewhere around 44 or 45. So well below league average there, which led to a lot of home runs, 30 of them that he allowed last season.
Third start is a Brave for Joey Bart. Drake Baldwin getting the night off. But Walt Weiss certainly said could see him late in this game as a pinch hitter. I think with the struggles, 1 for 25 since that home run in his return and all the strikeouts. CJ, get him a blow today and then the day off tomorrow as well.
Remember, he missed a decent amount of time. What was it, 23 days that he was on the IL? And so I think a lot of times we assume, hey, a guy's just back and he's going to go. We got very excited about that first homer, but the timing seems right to go ahead and give him a day against the lefty. Not that he can't hit lefties, but everything kind of lined up with Joey Bart. Travel day, all of it. And like you said, we could certainly see Drake potentially near the end of this game for some heroics if needed.
Three balls, 1 strike. And there's Joey Bart's first hit in that Braves uniform. He got an RBI at home, but he was 0 for 7 officially. But now a hit under his belt. 2 on with 2 out.
Well, he got ahead in the count. 3-1 changeup here. Mentioned at times where a guy like J.P. Sears will go not just giving in with his fastball, and so you're trying to stay back and making sure you're not getting out front too much and selling out for a heater. He was all over that changeup.
And now Mateo, who is the DH. First pitch is a sweeper, and he skies it. Lazy fly to left. That will send us to the bottom of the second.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event. Look out for these stickers to take advantage of great deals on a new.
A lot of blue skies out here in San Diego. No score, bottom of the second. Let's go to the Strong Arm, brought to you by John Foy and Associates. We mentioned that Perez was here with the Padres the back half of 2024 and had some really good numbers here at Petco Park.
Yeah, he certainly did. He mentioned it a couple of years ago. And so far with the Braves, he has been really good as well. Overall, it's been 8 games, 7 starts in this ballpark for Martin, 2-1 with an ERA right around 2.5.
And that 2.78 ERA that he has for Atlanta this year, that's the lowest of his career. Now, look, there's a long way to go this season. We understand that, but it puts into perspective just how good Martin Perez has been this season. Oh, right back at Perez. He recovers and makes the play. And now let's just hope he's okay.
So adrenaline gets you through the play, and now you get the reaction here from Martin that makes it look like it got him pretty good. Looked like lower body somewhere, whether it was a hip, knee, and got a little reaction there from the crowd as they watch the replay.
I mean, that was 110 off the bat of Bogaerts.
Smoke, where did it get him?
The back of that left leg.
Yeah, well, better that way than
yeah.
if he's facing forward. Not that it means it doesn't hurt. Now, the part about you worry is it going to get tightened up a little bit right there on the hamstring? And it was that left hamstring, right, for Martin. So this becomes about also, it was left, right?
I thought initially, but after that last few, if we could get another peek at it, I think he says he's okay.
Right,
that's
right
the good
hamstring.
news. Yeah, I think it hit his right. Well, you like that he's laughing about it.
No doubt. All right, so it's the right hamstring. So you see right there the kind of the landing leg, and as he turns, going to catch him. Yep, a little bit inner thigh on top of it as well. So what you watch now is how he lands, and to make sure, we talked about this a little bit last night, that there's no soft landings, that he's not necessarily kind of taking it easy or being gingerly when that foot gets down. His ability to accelerate through pitches, those two things work together hand in hand.
Think about when a batter gets hit by 95, 96. That was 110 miles per hour off the bat. Hopefully Perez okay now as he faces Jackson Merrill. One thing's for sure, he's going to have a big welt on that leg. At the knees, 3-1. And Perez battles back. He got behind 3-0, but he strikes out Jackson Merrill.
And how about doing it on the curveball here for Martin Perez? We talk about the change of the two-seamer cutter so much. He doesn't throw that curveball a lot, but this was a good one. Less than 9% usage from Martin Perez, but he uses it to finish off Jackson Merrill. Just kind of watching him closely and seeing if he's favoring that leg at all, especially when he fell behind a couple of pitches that missed arm side.
Like that.
Yeah, command is so important for Martin. And again, we talk about the right leg, hitting hard, hitting firm, and getting through your pitches. And just hope that he's not feeling for it as he's landing. Yeah, there's going to be a reaction here, unfortunately. Because that's not like him, right? We know his command and how good it is. And it could be about pain tolerance, hopefully nothing more than that, where you're concerned about him also, injuring himself or making it worse.
And Duhar grounds a 2-0 pitch to Ha-Seong Kim. Comfortable back on that Petco Park infield. Kim makes the play, and Perez battles through for a 1-2-3 inning.
The shortstop, number 7, Ha-Seong Kim.
So Ha-Seong Kim back in the starting lineup here in San Diego, where he was for 4 seasons from 2021 to 2024. And leading off here in the 3rd inning. Swing and a miss for Ha-Seong Kim. Mentioned the Gold Glove here in 2023. First Korean-born player to win a Gold Glove in Major League Baseball. And then last year had the injury in Tampa and coming to Atlanta to finish the season. Trying to find himself here again in 2026, but he's going to fly out to right to start the inning.
Took a pretty big hack at that first pitch as if he was trying to do something big here in his return to San Diego. But for Ha-Seong Kim, kind of important now to get it going here offensively. We know what he can do with the glove.
This guy has done it with a glove, with a bat. From the outfield to the infield, all over the place. Mauricio Dubon. Ground ball to third. That's the first ground out for the Braves here to go along with 5 in the air to the outfield and 1 strikeout for J.P. Sears. Let's take a look at our mobile performance tonight. It is Michael Harris with another 3-hit game yesterday, CJ, including a pair of doubles.
How about that note right there? 9th time that he has done that this season, tied for the most in Major League Baseball. It's been a great year for Michael, and it doesn't matter nearly as much left versus right.
Sends it down the line toward the corner, and it's going to go foul. Not a whole lot of real estate as far as foul ground is concerned, but Michael found it.
Yeah. Batting average right now for Michael at 300 or above versus both the lefties and the righties. Right? Even 300. More important, the OPS at 830. Right, he is doing damage against left-handed pitching this year, and nearly did right there.
Only 6 pitches so far in this inning for J.P. Sears, and he's got 2 outs and an 0-2 count. Remember last night the Braves had 7 2-strike hits. Harris with 3 of them. Again the 0-2. Swing and a miss. So just 8 pitches in the third for J.P. Sears.
Powered by DoorDash.
Well, there's a welcome sight for Braves fan. Martin Perez back to the mound after taking that liner off his lower half. And when you talk about why Martin Perez has been successful this year, well, it's because he works at the edges of the strike zone. In fact, take a look at this number from Baseball Savant. Pitches in the shadow of the zone. Now, the shadow is that perimeter that traces the edges of the strike zone. Nobody has located more of their pitches in that area than Martin Perez. And here's a visual representation of what we're talking about, particularly located down low. Now, again, 45% of Martin Perez's pitches have been in those zones. And CJ, you know, sometimes you've got guys like Mason Miller with great stuff. This could be trouble.
Yeah, unfortunately it is. Ty France going deep to the second deck to put the Padres on top.
Ty France, obviously we know, has got some pop and has it against lefties. He gets a changeup here from Martin, and maybe a little bit more elevated. It's good movement at the bottom of the zone. It's pretty much right at the bottom, and kind of what Wiley was talking about, why there's been so much success here for Ty France. But he stayed on that changeup extremely well. But to his point, and the success that we've seen here for Martin, we talk about a lot, is because he does have that ability, like Wiley, to live in the shadows. Be sneaky. No, but of course, just hitting his spots, he's got to do it. He knows that he has a smaller margin for error, but he's been able to execute cleanly. And then every once in a while, a guy's going to hit a pretty good pitch like that.
Yeah, Ty France has some pop in that bat, his 9th homer of the season.
And guys, you know, I feel like we often get asked almost everywhere we go when Martin starts is, how is he doing this? How is he making this happen? And it's easy to say he's locating well. Well, that right there proves it better than anybody in baseball at working on the corners.
And I think he sequences really well. He's been doing this for a long time. He knows what he wants to do. He knows what works. And I think even for catchers that have an idea and start to get on that same page, he's one of those guys that's always going to leave you guessing a little bit. Two-seamer cutter, especially, change up the way he works those pitches inside and out.
Change up down there that Fermin fouls away. 2-2. Freddie Fermin, first game back since that concussion that he had on June 13th. His first full season here as a Padre after coming over at the deadline last year from Kansas City. Kim waits back and takes care of business.
The other part of what we talked about with Martin being on this run of 4 straight wins is that we have seen that ground ball rate go really high for him. He's always been a good ground ball pitcher, sitting just under 50%, but during this run in particular, it's been 57%.
Broken bat bloop that drops perfectly for Bowen. He's got good speed and he will cruise into second base. Young 25-year-old rookie who just debuted at the major league level 3 weeks ago. And he didn't hit it very hard, but he hit it in the right spot.
Yeah, there it is again, right on the edge cutter. You want those belt high. Sounded like he may have broken his bat. And not much exit velocity at all, but he finds some room there down the line, and then that spin that took the baseball into foul territory made that double come a lot easier.
Top of the order, Fernando Tatis Jr. Has reached safely in 17 straight. They grounded out back in the first.
So we mentioned, obviously, not a great year for Fernando. The power's down. He's already hit a home run, though, in this series. But an area in which he has been excellent. I don't know if he's getting more locked in, if he's focusing more, whatever it is. But to watch him hit .383 with runners in scoring position, he's got one right now out there at second base. But the kind of year that he is having almost doesn't make sense.
Now, you do wonder about the power. As you said, the homer yesterday, just his third of the season. Now, you remember he hit 42 in 2021, but then you do have to remember he got slapped with that PED suspension in 2022, though he did hit 25 last year. 3-2.
Signed the monster contract, and I think under some false pretense, obviously, because of that huge year that he had. But the OPS has just never gotten back to where it was, even in some of the good years that have followed. Great defender, really good player, but still not to the level, I think, of what they paid him to do.
And he bounces to Riley again. So that's 2 times Tatis has grounded to third, 2 away.
Both times on the changeup, and the really good one from Martin Perez. Again, he's been around for a while. He understands how a lot of these guys approach at bats. He knows how to counteract it. It always comes down to execution, and he executed very well to Fernando Tatis Jr.
This is a guy in Samad Taylor that not much was expected out of when they called him up, but he has hit the ball well. When they first called him up, he was hitting 8th in the order, but they bumped him up to 2nd because of his production. He tried to lay down a bunt in the first inning, but Perez was able to get him. And that cutter misses for a 2-1 count.
He's getting his chance now here, right? There was a little bit of big league time leading into this season, but not a lot with the Royals and the Seattle Mariners. So there's been some consistent playing time, and he's done well. And he's playing with confidence, too. You can see it in the body language for a guy who comes in with just 53 games played at the big league level.
And blazing speed for Samad Taylor. He's going to be called back here. That was a strike.
Give you an idea how good that cutter was. He gave up on it. He saw it off the plate, and it came back and it caught plenty of the plate. But he sees that as a ball, but this is very much a strike.
And now he has Dan Bellino for time. Here comes a payoff pitch from Perez. And that is a called strike. And that was definitely in the zone. And Taylor is down looking. That is Martin Perez to a T right there.
Crafty, right? The backdoor cutter followed by the front door two-seam fastball for the punchy.
Shop at take5.com.
Beautiful Wednesday evening here in San Diego. Braves trailing 1-0 with Ozzie Albies leading off against J.P. Sears, a left-hander. So Ozzie getting another chance to face left-handed pitching. Guys, this is something he didn't get to do that often the last couple of seasons because the Braves didn't see as many left-handed arms. So that's been a focus this year. Take a look at our Yellowwood bringing the lumber, and that was the point that Tim Hires made to me when I showed him some of these numbers about what Ozzie's done against the fastball this year compared to what it was the last couple of years. He feels like he's gotten in a better rhythm by to use that right-handed swing, and that some of his confidence and comfort from that side has actually spilled over to the left side, and that's the reason he's been on time for the fastball throughout the season.
Yeah, it makes total sense, right? Even though it's two different sides of the plate, it's a different swing. In a way, I think they work together. You listen to switch hitters talk, and it is fascinating, and they can be good on one side and bad on the other side. But I think like anything else, if you're feeling good, you're feeling good.
Well, he got the fastball there, and it's going to turn into a single. Tatis did everything he could, but he could not make the play.
But the point to the at-bats, I think, is really important. We heard Walt talk about that earlier, and when we saw Ozzie at the very beginning of the season hitting high in the order against the lefties, that was a big part of the reason. Good effort here by Tatis, but not enough time, and that throw being way offline. So that part was really important. The history was there. They believed in it. He's done it before, and they were pretty confident he was going to be able to do it again.
When you look at the numbers, CJ, he's had 145 plate appearances against lefties now, and we're not even at the halfway point of the season.
Oh, Olsen. Straighten that out. It's a two-run homer.
Last year he had all of 186, so he's on pace to nearly double that, and it's just not something he had the opportunity to do much of, particularly early last year. And I think, Tim Hires mentioned that probably had something to do with him getting off to what was a slow start.
And the amount of lefties, right, that the Braves have seen this year, more than anybody else in baseball, has contributed in a big way to getting Ozzie where he needs to be. But Chipper talks about switch hitters. It's always great to listen to Chipper Jones talk hitting, period. But, of course, being a switch hitter and essentially saying, like, you need twice as many swings in the cage from your non-natural side, right? Your natural side is one thing, but you better do double the work from the other side. It is a big effort to try to be a successful switch hitter in the big leagues.
Olsen singled back in the second. 1-1 pitch coming here. And that sweeper catches the bottom of the zone. Sears had a very quick third inning, only threw 8 pitches, 1, 2, 3. He's trying to make him work a little harder here in the fourth. Another sweeper, that one away, and Olsen went after it. 1 down.
It's a good pitch. We know with sweepers, it's going to be very horizontal. And left on left, when you're getting that much horizontal break and trying to get a feel for where that thing's going to end up can be a real challenge.
So third strikeout for Sears. His first strikeout victim was this man, Austin Riley, back in the second. Braves trying to get something going here in the fourth. This ballpark has been a bit of a house of horrors for Atlanta going back to the 2024 postseason, when they got swept here in a couple of games by San Diego. Since then, the Braves have lost 8 straight here at Petco Park, and they're trying to avoid the sweep tonight. Of course, you remember last year the Braves opened here and lost 4 straight before going to LA and losing 3 more to the Dodgers, and never really recovering after that 0-7 start. Nowhere near 2-1.
Yeah, it's interesting because listen, it's a good team. I don't want to take anything away from the Padres, but there's nothing about when you're looking at this roster or you're looking at this ballpark that makes you feel like it should be a problem for the Braves the way that it has been.
Yeah, just kind of been one of those things. And right now the Padres have caught the Braves during really the only dip they've had so far in the 2026 season. There's a walk for Riley, so 2 on with 1 out.
This ballpark gives you one of the tightest kind of downtown views. I know it's not a booming metropolis like New York or Chicago, but I'm thinking about cities that you get in the background of your ballpark out to center field. This is going to be as close as any, right?
Yeah, and it lines up so beautifully with a vantage point from home plate. It's symmetrical at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, just,
you know how that makes me feel.
I know, very good. Eli White laying down a bunt, but unfortunately they almost got 2 out of it, but they do get the lead runner, Ozzie, as that bunt went right out in front of home plate, and Fermin made it the nice play.
The high bounce, unfortunately, is what cost Eli here. Not a bad idea. He is bunting for a hit in this spot with 1 out and trying to push it because Manny Machado is playing back, and if he can get it down the third baseline, he's got a real good shot at getting a base hit out of it. Smart play by Machado, right? He knows he has no chance of getting Eli White over at first, but could he catch maybe Austin Riley pulling up a little bit? And it's also a force out in that spot.
So 2 outs and now Joey Bart. And all 3 games have been very well attended, and they're expecting 3 sellouts here this weekend because the Dodgers are going to be in town here at Petco Park Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Both teams off tomorrow. The Braves will have the off day up in San Francisco before starting that series with the Giants.
And that Dodger-Padre rivalry is real. A lot of history and recent history between these two. And these fan bases being so close.
Yes. Tatis has to redirect. Oh, his throw is high. So that is going to be the second error for Fernando Tatis Jr. in as many nights. Last night it was in right field. Tonight it's at second base, and they are loaded.
Fernando Tatis Jr. is a great athlete. The fact that you can put him around in a couple different spots. But look at that shot right there. He is flat-footed as that pitch is being thrown, right? We mentioned it in the outfield, and it's the same thing in the infield. There's just not a lot of effort put into what he does with each pitch that is thrown in the preparation to get him in that proper fielding position. And I think it contributes to that, the way that he got to that baseball and then ultimately making the bad throw.
So a chance here for Mateo with the bases juiced and 2 outs.
Another glove going into the stands, maybe?
If he throws that one, losing 2 gloves in 2 nights. And Mateo out to right center, but over is Merrill. He's there in plenty of time. The Braves get him loaded, but they do not score a run.
Not being here in October.
Let's rewind. To the second inning, our Allstate Good Hands replay. It's not only the play that Perez made, but then he got chatting with Manny Machado, and he said, joking with him, I'm going to put the next one in your rib cage, and then Machado making fun of him for limping after getting hit.
All in good fun, of course. A bunch of former teammates there together and having a good time. The big thing, of course, is that Martin Perez was fine, able to stay in this game and throwing the baseball well. And like you said, there's got to be a welt there. There's probably a little bit of soreness that's already starting to set in after getting hit with that ball off the bat of Xander Bogaerts.
Bogaerts on deck, but right now it's Machado. That ball that Bogaerts hit, if you weren't with us, 110 off the bat. But thankfully, Perez able to stay in the game. Did give up the homer to tie France last inning. That's the difference right now. Joey Bart's going to trot out there.
I don't know if that was to save Martin necessarily from getting dinged with the ball right with the pitch clock as he had stepped off. The things I don't like about the rule, right, is that a hitter always gets one timeout per plate appearance. But the pitchers do not, right? If something goes wrong, you either have to burn a mound visit or you take the ball. Of course, once you get a runner on, it's different, right? You can have the disengagement, but with nobody on, you really don't have very many options if something doesn't go right for a pitcher.
You don't see that often. It's a 4-pitch walk for Martin Perez.
And all two-seam fastballs as well from Martin in that at bat to Manny Machado.
And here is Bogaerts. Again, that play was to start the second inning. And Perez back in the zone there with a two-seamer. '50th pitch of the night here for the native of Venezuela, and it is grounded up the middle. So 2 on to start the bottom of the 4th.
Well, he got what he wanted, which was a baseball on the ground, and this was against the changeup from Martin, but hit pretty hard from Xander Bogaerts, who's now hit the ball pretty hard twice. This one at 104, that one at 110 that hit Martin.
Interestingly, though, Bogaerts the one that hit that off of Perez, because if you follow Major League Baseball, watch, Bogaerts took a fastball off the helmet last week against the Orioles and was removed from the game. Thankfully, passed all the concussion tests. He came back the next day, but it was a scary moment. One ball, one strike here to Jackson Merrill after that big swing.
Merrill, another guy, right, where the year has been down, someone that they have invested in over the long term and has been a good player in his brief career. You see Manny Machado, Hassan Kim talking a little bit, but giving an indication of where he is, and that's chasing that changeup off the plate from Martinez, so he goes right back to it.
We had that great rookie campaign in 24. He signed that long extension and just hasn't produced those same numbers since. A 9-year, $135 million deal. Turns on it toward the corner, right of the pole.
What's interesting about that first year, he was young, right? He was only 21 years old. Put up the big numbers, but didn't walk very much. Always something I think you keep an eye on. Early player, gets to the big leagues, 826 OPS, but he does that without drawing very many walks.
And he's going to draw a strikeout here. Perez painted that on the outside corner.
Backdoor two-seam fastball again. Martin does this as good as anybody. You're going to see a little bit of movement here at the end, and just enough, and nice job by Joey Bart as well to frame this thing up and get that called strike.
Both teams still have a pair of challenges, but Merrill not using it. It looked like that did clip the corner. You think, though, that walk rate for a young player can be an indicator for what's to come?
It's something that you keep an eye on, right? It was a respectable on-base percentage, a little bit better than league average, but if you're not drawing walks, at some point something's going to have to change. It's difficult to do that consistently and still put up those big kind of numbers. When a lot of your OPS is coming from your slug and thinking about the overall batting average and most of your on-base is within your batting average, which it was that first year, that it could catch up with you. I think it has here. Now we're seeing a lot more swing and miss from Jackson Merrill.
Miguel Andujar, the designated hitter, awaiting a 3-0 pitch. It's another walk, and I don't know if it's because of that ball he took off the leg, but Martin Perez's command is not what it has been this year.
And you see a couple of times where he ends up kind of walking off the mound, and I'm not sure, again, if that's frustration from the walks or if there's actually anything bothering him with that leg. Again, you know it's going to be some level of pain there, some kind of tightening. You're just hoping it is something that he can pitch through. But you're right, we're not used to seeing this from Martin at all.
And now he's got to face Ty France, who had that long homer last inning. Nowhere near. And Joey Bart, probably a good time to go back out there. Nobody's throwing in the Braves bullpen, but they're moving around. France pops up the cutter. Olsen drifts over, but the ball drifts out of play. The Phillies, by the way, found more ninth inning magic. They scored 8 in the ninth yesterday to beat Washington. They were down to their final strike tonight. Derek Hill comes in, pinch hit 2-run homer to take the lead over the Nationals. The Phillies have been playing some good baseball. Two-seamer misses.
Tried that higher elevated two-seamer right at the late move, and you maybe catch the top of the strike zone. Now that is a pitch for France against lefties that he has handled really, really well. Now we have the changeup out against Martin. He has struggled though against the lefty cutter.
That one inside corner, 2-2.
We also told you that Martin, right, kind of picks his spots on when he uses that curveball. Those have been the two worst pitches for him the last 2 years against lefties, cutter and curveball for Ty France.
2-2 pitch. Out to right center. Diving catch by Eli White. Padres will get one, but it could have been much worse.
Now this is incredible. I thought off the bat this was absolutely down for extra bases, which would have meant multiple runs here for the Padres. It is the cutter, but Martin tried to go backdoor with it. And there goes Eli White with that full extension and closing in the gap to save some runs here for the Braves and Martin Perez.
It's the last homestand. He had those two amazing plays in left field, including that catch toward the corner that had a 5% catch probability, but White got it done. He does something similar there. And now here's the catcher for me. Also, don't think people realize, getting back to Eli White, that concussion that he had at Dodger Stadium running full speed into the wall and making that catch. It was an unbelievable play, but I talked to him about it. That took a lot out of him.
Yeah.
And it took him a while to get back to 100%. But he is giving it 100% out there and then some.
It's an amazing play. We saw that same road trip, the one that Mauricio Dubon made in center field as well in Colorado. The defense has been excellent. It's been a non-issue this year, regardless of who was in which position, because there's also guys moving around quite a bit.
Another 3-ball count here for Martin Perez. Bogarts at second and Duhar at first. 2 down, 3-1 pitch. And this one is going to go foul. Full count. Now the payoff, and it bounces in. 3rd walk in the inning. Bases loaded.
And perhaps Walt may be going to get somebody up there. We've already seen 2 mound visits in this inning here from Joey Bart, so I don't think Jeremy Hefner is going to go out there, but there is going to be some action.
Yeah, they're starting to move around. We'll see who ultimately begins to throw. That's a huge spot. You've got a young rookie in Jace Bowen, but he had a double last time up. Bases loaded, 2-0, and Perez trying to keep it at that score. But he is having trouble locating.
And you can read the body language, right? Martin, again, is excellent at putting the baseball where he wants to, and he's kind of running through his periods where he's having a hard time doing it.
So Ian Hamilton, just recalled today, is the right-hander that is throwing right now for the Braves. 2-2. Let's see if Martin can get out of this without any more damage.
Pitch count climbing up on him as well now as he's getting ready to throw number 76 here in the 4th inning.
Two-two pitch. That is in there. He got him looking. A big strikeout to keep the Padres to 1 run in the 4th. Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Truist. Western Metal Supply Company building. They built this park around that building, which was originally erected in 1909. Company went bankrupt in the 70s, but the city declared it a historic landmark, and they were going to demolish it, but eventually they built Petco Park around it. It is a gorgeous building down that left field line, and I think it makes this ballpark very unique in a special way.
It does. You talked about some of the symmetry that you get here now with those suites that they have in the Western Metal Supply Company building. They're a little bit on a different angle, but very unique. And some of those ones that are right down the line are right on top of the action as well, which is pretty cool.
So this building has been around, not that building, but Petco Park since 2004. There's only been 4 Metal Supply Company. There is the roof. 2 of them by 1 player.
Ooh, okay.
You want to take a guess? Not currently on the team.
Yes, so 2004, but it was a Padre.
So I'm saying Petco Park opened in 04.
Yep.
Someone hit one there in 2016 and 2017.
Okay.
Same player,
Yep.
yes.
So it's either
It
someone
was a Padre.
And it was a Padre, 16-17. I'm probably not going to get this. Confidence is low. Will Myers.
Straightaway center. Hang on. Hassan Kim gives this a ride, but Petco will hold it. 1 down. Hunter Renfroe.
Oh, yeah, would not have gotten that. He had a big pop, too.
And then the only other one to do it, Fernando Tatis Jr. during the COVID season of 2020. Only 3 balls that have been hit on the top of that building.
Surprised they didn't make that foul pole go just a little bit higher, right? I mean, again, you don't get them up there very much, but it'd be kind of fun to be next to the foul pole for those that are on the roof.
Yeah, what a great spot to take in a ball game. That one almost hit Mauricio Dubon. Now, J.P. Sears, it's just been flyout after flyout. Now, Kim just missed a homer there. You feel like maybe the Braves are going to get to J.P. Sears with one of these balls in the air eventually.
We talked about this ballpark and how sometimes it can be difficult to hit home runs, not carrying that well, even though the dimensions are not all that big here at Petco. And he's probably thrilled to be here compared to being in the PCL for J.P. Sears, where he had nearly an 8 ERA.
Our Zaxby's Who's Got the Sauce? Mauricio Dubon does, really all season, but we're boiling it down here to the last 17.
He's been great. He's been really good here in the month of June. We talked about this last night, a handful of guys, but how about those wrist numbers? 7 for 16 over those last 17. So he's been clutch as well.
Wiley talked with Tim Hires about Mauricio Dubon before the game. And Tim Hires talking about Mauricio saying, you know, these regular at-bats have been so good for me. And that continues to be the case. Right inside the chalk. Stand-up double for Mauricio Dubon.
Well, earlier in the at-bat, you saw the cutter that kind of pushed Mauricio Dubon off the plate and out of the batter's box, and J.P. Sears goes back to the cutter, but this one on the plate. And the left-handed cutter, you heard me talk about it often to right-handed hitters, if you locate it, is one of the few places that you can hit it. And what you want to be happening is your third baseman knows that cutter's coming and that he cheats a step to the line to be able to prevent that double, but Manny Machado did not.
First pitch, Harris bounces innocently to Ty France, but he almost made it not so innocent. Sprinting down the line, but France barely got him. Now, Michael pointed toward the dugout. We'll see if they want to look at it. They do not.
This can get a little bit dangerous in these spots. First, take a look at Michael, and Ty France just barely getting there ahead of him. But also for Ty France, the decision that you have to make and whether or not you're going to give the ball up to your pitcher. Now, he never gave any indication at all for Sears that he was going to toss that. He went into a sprint right away. Of course, you'll see sometimes with your first baseman that they put a hand up, but it took everything Ty France had to beat Michael to first base.
Well, Dubon at third now. Ozzie Albies puts it in the air towards Taylor. And Dubon is stranded. The Braves still scoreless as we are halfway home. Bottom of the fifth. San Diego with a 2-0 lead. Wait. Was that you and Megan on bikes?
That was me and Luke.
Oh, God. Luke, I'm sorry. Megan, I'm sorry. I swear I couldn't really see. I just saw two people, and I was told you were coming in on bikes, so that's all.
E-bikes, too, lazy people bikes. They were super fun over at Coronado there, just across the way. Of course, you're looking at downtown San Diego from that view. What a cool little place that is.
Was Shooter out there getting that footage?
No, Megan took the footage.
Okay.
Yeah. So my wife, we call her Manual Megan. She says, I don't need an e-bike. I'm going to get a regular bike. And about 45 minutes in, she's like, I'm starting to get tired. It looks like I haven't pedaled once yet because he's just on the e-bike. You just push the button and go. Take advantage of technology. That was great. It was really fun. That's why I'm a little bit red. I'm kind of putting the.
You got a little tan going on.
Yeah, I felt it. I was like, well, this might be a problem for the series, but it's fine. Nothing a little makeup can't take care of here or there. But it is really nice over there. Had lunch. It was a really nice off day over there at Coronado.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Got out and walked along the water today as well. Just picture perfect. This is really, really uncharacteristic for Martin Perez. 3 walks last inning. Now a walk here to start the 5th. The Braves, we showed you they had Hamilton up, but he sat, and Karinchak is now warming.
And that ties a season high here for Martin with those 4 walks. And we'll see what he says afterwards. It just feels like he is probably battling after getting hit again in the right leg from Xander Bogaerts.
A bunt from Taylor, and he's going to reach. Perez bobbled it on the exchange. It would have been really hard to get Taylor even with a good throw with how well he runs.
So I would agree here. We've seen this before. You got great speed. You got Martin dealing with a little bit of that leg issue. Probably better off that he did not try to make this play. As you see that exchange there, a little bit of a loose grip, and the concern would have been there that he threw that baseball away.
And Walt Weiss is going to come get him. He'll leave here in the bottom of the 5th with 2 on, nobody out. And the Braves are calling on Karinchak out of that bullpen.
Check out the fun and get your tickets at Braves.com/independence.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Comcast Business. All-in-one connection and protection your small business can rely on. No one does business like Comcast Business. By the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And by Rooms to Go. The July 4th sale is going on now at Rooms to Go. Shop and save store-wide. A couple of iconic scenes in Top Gun were shot there at Kansas City Barbecue, or better known as the Top Gun Bar here in San Diego. Bottom of the 5th, Martin Perez is out. Karinchak is brought in here. There's nobody out, 2 on, and he's got to face Machado, Bogaerts, and Merrill.
He's been really good. You can see the numbers here so far with his 5 strikeouts in his 5 games. Now, he hasn't come in the middle of an inning yet where he's had to inherit some runners. So this would be the first time for James Karinchak to have that. Fastball, curveball, very simple pitch mix, and they've worked extremely well for Karinchak.
We'll just have to wait to see what Perez and Walt Weiss say post-game to see if Martin felt any ill effect from that comebacker. But right now it's on to the Braves pen.
I mean, as hard as that hit him, it's almost impossible that it didn't tighten up at least a little bit or was aggravating him, and that was the concern, right? The land leg for him, and was he landing as firmly as he was comfortable and had been all year long and been able to put pitches where he needed to. At times it felt like he was digging deep and executing a big pitch, but other times he seemed like he couldn't find it.
Liberty Mutual Insurance field coverage, talking about relief pitchers this season and allowing inherited runners to score. The Braves best in baseball.
That's an incredible number when you think about what the league average is for inherited runners scoring. That number is usually around 30%. And the Braves have dominated in that area.
Makes sense the Padres would be second. Top 2 bullpens in baseball. But Karinchak now having trouble locating. Falling behind Machado 3-0. There's a strike on the corner. Lucky. Ball 4 coming in and finding the bat of Manny Machado.
So far in this plate appearance, those breaking balls have all been up, right? We talked about James Karinchak. It is elevated fastball, very top of the zone or above, and then the curveball being in the bottom third. That's how the sequencing works really well for him. So when he's hanging those breaking balls, sure, can you drop one in up in the zone once in a while, but he'd prefer those be in the lower third of the strike zone.
Payoff pitch coming. Big swing. 96. Fouled straight back. Quite a career for Machado, the 7-time All-Star. And he's come up big for the Padres in this series. Karinchak trying to get him here for the first out of the 5th. This one is coming back our way.
So this is usually what that high fastball will produce, which is balls in the air, swings and misses. Now Manning's got a level enough swing where he's got a chance to get to the high vert fastball at the top of the zone. So far he has fought a couple of them off.
But he gets him with 95. Big strikeout for James Karinchak.
I mentioned the velo, 95 miles an hour, good carry to it. You want to be careful. He was good at the zone up top. You don't want to miss and walk Manny Machado, so he goes right at him. He gets that heater past him.
So there's your first out. Now the cleanup man, Xander Bogaerts. Questioning Dan Bellino, but a strike to make it 1-1.
So we told you against righties when this game started that Bellino is a guy that will open it up. He'll open it up down. And for James Karinchak, that's perfect, right? That is exactly what he wants.
Runners are going to go here. Thrown out at third. Safe. 2 in scoring position now for the Padres.
Tatis had been dancing out there a little bit throughout this inning and finally saw an opportunity to get a good jump. That's a good throw from Joey Bart. He made this close.
Padres top 5 in baseball in stolen bases. They get a couple up 90 feet there. The Braves bring the infield. Shallow. Right center. They're going to have to hustle. No one's going to get there. And a run is going to come home to make it 3-0. That was deceptive off the bat, and both Michael and Eli had to run a long way.
It's off the end of the bat, 96 miles an hour. You see the bigger swing, and so you think this is going to have a little bit more carry. You see Michael kind of sizing it up before he goes into that full sprint and just dropping right there, and nothing anybody can do. You also had the infield in. Not that Ozzie would have had a shot at it, but because he is in that moment, he's got no shot at even going for that ball.
So now it's 3-0. They're at the corners for Jackson Merrill. And Bart knocks it down. Runners stay put.
They did appeal that and said that he went. A lot going on there. That ball in the dirt. And even though they're over at third base. The third base umpire wanted to make sure he was seen. He was kind of stuck behind some guys with all the action. I'm over here. He went.
Heading for second here, Bogaerts, and he's going to get in there easily.
Last full year in the big leagues for James Karinchak was 2023, and he would give up 16 stolen bases, right? You can see that the Padres have picked up on something, and the time to the plate, where they feel like they can take advantage of it.
One here with the infield in. Bouncer to Olsen. He checks the runner, steps on the bag. Well played, 2 down. So now you can put the infield back, and Miguel Andujar, the designated hitter at the plate.
Think about how this inning unfolded, right? It was the walk to Tatis, the bunt from Taylor. You get a strikeout, then the weak little bloop, the stolen bases in there as well. Just a bunch of little things happening here for the Padres that have allowed them to put another run on the board.
Slowly to third. Riley bare hands and saves a run. You cannot do it any better than that. And the Braves able to keep it at 3-0.
The defense continues not to quit out there behind their pitchers, and Austin Riley once again, great barehanded play and a strike over to Matt Olson.
We normally say, where's Wiley? Where's Waldo? Well, there's a lot of Waldos here tonight at Petco Park. Tell you what, you have to commit to the bit to get everybody involved there.
Glasses, all of it, full uni. No quit in that group.
Now J.P. Sears is back out there, his season debut, and the Braves have had base runners against them. They haven't been able to get anything across. Let's see if that changes now in the 6th. Let's take a look at our cold hard facts, brought to you by Coors Light. Wait for it. There they are.
And they are factual, and that is what the Braves have done against left-handed pitchers coming into this one with the doubles, the homers. Best in baseball. You see that slugging and average exit velo. Now J.P. Sears has done a surprisingly good job here tonight so far. The only lefties in the lineup, Michael Harris and Matt Olson. And they are 1 for 5 tonight so far with a couple of strikeouts.
4th time that J.P. Sears has faced the Braves in his career. He's able to strike out Matt Olson again with that sweeper.
If you remember the last at bat, it was a lot further off the plate. He got chased. That one was in the zone. That has been the best pitch tonight for J.P. Sears. The other couple of strikeouts that he has against Austin Riley and Michael Harris have come on the fastball.
Riley's strikeout was in the 2nd, that he walked in the 4th. Those other 3 times, though, that Sears faced the Braves, they were all in an A's uniform. He faced them once in 23, once in 24, and once last year with the Athletics with varying success. And now in his first appearance in 2026, he faces Atlanta here at Petco Park. It's ahead of Riley 0-2. He's got some southeastern roots. He's from Sumter, South Carolina, played at the Citadel before being drafted by the Mariners in 2017. Throws that slider in the dirt.
And since we'll be in San Francisco for 4 days, right when it's all said and done, we may be stopping at Sears. Not the Sears that the old folks might be thinking of, but the breakfast joint. Have you been to Sears in San Francisco?
I have not.
Yeah. A little breakfast joint. They're cash only.
I thought we were going to pick out tires or something.
No. Put on your Sunday best. We're going to Sears.
Cash only?
I believe, if memory serves, it is cash only there at Sears.
All right. Sold. I'm in.
It's right next to the St. Francis Hotel, that old hotel that has the clock in there still from the earthquake and the fire and everything else that happened way back when.
Now,
it used to be a team hotel way back in the day.
I'm picturing good pancakes at Sears.
It's a good little spot. You don't stay in business with a bad pancake.
That's true. Yeah, as soon as this game's over, Braves will head to the airport, fly up the coast, get in around midnight, off day tomorrow, and then start that series on Friday. Riley stays alive. And we mentioned earlier, but if you didn't catch it, Reynaldo Lopez is going to get the start on Friday. Again, he'll be limited since he's transitioning out of the bullpen. Elder Saturday, and then Chris Sale on Sunday.
Yeah, they'll start to put together a game plan, right? So if it ends up being hopefully 3 really good innings from Ronaldo Lopez, and what do you do kind of after that, right? You get the day off tomorrow, so the bullpen should be in a pretty good position, but how you try to then connect the rest of the game and still leave that bullpen in a good spot for the rest of the series will be part of that planning.
Well, Austin Riley with a good eye on those last 2 pitches, so 2 walks for him. Hey, let's get a quick message from our friends at Delta.
From Braves country to the world. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
Folks at Delta ready to take the team up the coast after this one. No better flight crew than our very own Anna, Corliss, Cheryl, Yolanda. They take care of us on that.
Don't forget about Will.
Will. Oh, Will. He's going to, if he's hearing this, he's not going to like me. Will's my buddy. Apologies, Will. 0-2 here to Eli White.
Monica filled in on this flight out to San Diego. That's for my sourdough bagel recipe.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, CJ's bread and bagel recipes are becoming a phenomenon around Braves country. Got it. So 2 strikeouts in the inning for Sears.
Because the repertoire runs so deep, he's doing a nice job of getting this fastball to play up. You're looking at it, you're seeing 92, 94, maybe a couple of 95s I think we've seen today, but feeling like those are fastballs that Braves hitters should be getting to, and they're not right now.
Freddie Fermin calling time, going to talk with Sears. I think they've got a pitch comm issue. There is activity for the Padres in the pen. David Morgan. 79 pitches right now for Sears.
I'd say for Craig Stammen, he's already gotten more out of J.P. Sears than he probably anticipated here. 5 2/3 with no runs across the board. And we know how good this bullpen is, but he's got to be thrilled with what he has seen here this evening.
And Craig Stammen, we've talked about him being a first-year manager. It's a little unusual. You don't see many former pitchers that are managers. Bud Black was one, but Stammen is the only current big league manager that was also a big league pitcher. He had a 13-year career.
I think it becomes harder and harder to do, right? I mean, you think about, well, position players got to figure it out with pitchers, right? We see a lot of catchers and outfielders, infielders that are managers around the game. There's a little bit of an extra challenge there for pitchers, and to be able to make that connection, especially when you are as young as he is, with your offense.
Just 42 years old. And his first 7 seasons were with the Nationals, but his last 6 were with San Diego. So familiar with this organization. Last 2 years in the Padres player development department, but didn't have any coaching experience at the big league level until this year. Drilled deep to left off the bat of Joey Bart. It is gone. And just like that, the Atlanta native Joey Bart makes it a ball game here in San Diego. Partner, his first as a Brave, and I bet you that's one he's going to always remember.
It's a big moment in the game, but certainly a personal good moment for Joey Bart, as we know, the local Atlantan, and he gets a changeup middle. He had a really good swing with that base hit, was also against the changeup in his first at bat. And this is big right now because this offense was not going very well at all against J.P. Sears, and the game was getting away from them, and now it has changed dramatically with the Braves just trailing by 1.
106 miles per hour off the bat, and that is going to be the last pitch that Sears throws in this ball game.
Going on now.
So Joey Bart, with one swing of the bat, gets the Braves back within a run. Takes us to our Flavor That Hits, presented by La Lechonera. So now 103 multi-run innings this season for the Braves.
And you see the Washington Nationals there, even though they're not having a great season, their offense has been really good. You're looking at some good teams, obviously, to be on this list. But there are the Braves with their 103, but they still got some work to do right now.
All right, so a couple of changes here. You've got David Morgan pitching, but you also have Drake Baldwin now stepping into the spot of Mateo as the DH. And Morgan's first pitch is a little low, 1-0.
So you get a high walk rate of almost 14% here, and the strikeout rate goes down considerably. You see it there at 24%, respectable, but against lefties, it is just under 20%. So an issue throwing strikes and generating swing and miss for left-handed hitters against David Morgan.
See if Drake can break out of that little funk that he's been in over the last week. Swings at that slider, misses 1-2. Got some extra swings in today and a long talk around the batting cage with Tim Hires. He's trying to make sure he's turning every stone. But unfortunately, he is down on strikes to end the 6th. But Joey Bart with one swing of the bat makes this a ball game.
He is on the board as a Brave. Congratulations to Joey Bart. The Braves right back into this thing thanks to the Braves catcher.
Matters where you stay. Hilton for the stay.
Nick Green and Peter Moylan, Rooms to Go Lounge. Peter, Joey Bart's homer gets him back into the game. How are we feeling about a comeback?
I feel great for him. Imagine that, being a kid growing up in Georgia, watching that. It's a dream to hit.
All right, Greeny. Joey Bart, yeah, a big 2-run homer. Now it's a battle of the bullpens the rest of the way. Dylan Dodd is going to come in here. Our Comcast Business defensive edge, our Dodd's numbers this season.
It's a strikeout rate that really is jumping off the page. Yes, he has dominated righties, but at 31% here for Dylan Dodd, he has become a weapon in the bullpen now for Walt Weiss. By the way, really good point there made by Nick Green regarding, okay, you look at the teams in the vacuum, and we know, of course, the Padres have a great bullpen, but some guys down. Think about Mason Miller with a couple of innings yesterday, and so while, yes, they run pretty deep, at least the big dog, and expect that we'll see him here this evening.
He has the look of a guy with a night off right there.
It's a closer's version of a dig me day. You don't get him too often. He does have the nails on, but I don't think he's going in the game.
Looks like he's sitting in the park getting ready to read a nice book.
By the way, see that bag right there to the right? It's got the plyo balls in it, that little kind of brown and gold bag there. I can't remember who the pitcher was. It went across my feed. There was a guy who just got to the big leagues, had his own personalized plyo bag, but it was alligator skin, and it was an alligator.
Wow. That seems a little aggressive.
It was pretty fascinating to see. They're accessorizing now in the bullpen.
Yeah. Is he from Louisiana?
He was not. I'll have to go back and find it. It was something.
Two balls and two strikes here. Ty France had that solo homer back in the 3rd. And he's going to poke this out to left, and Dubon cannot get there. And Ty France, he's driven in 2. He's got the homer and now a double. Big game for the Padres first baseman.
That's why he was in there tonight against the lefties. Heck of an effort by Mauricio Dubon, first of all, in left field. This is the slider that is hit, so it's going to be hooking away from Mauricio, right? You got the breaking ball coming into a righty, and so it continues to spin away, and he unfortunately just came up short of making a great catch.
Corner infielders pinching in a little bit here with Freddie Fermin, the catcher, at the plate. He does square. Lays it down to third. So Ozzie has to hustle over. Fermin gets his job done. Runner at third, one down.
So it's textbook right there. When you have a runner at second base and you are sacrifice bunting hard to the third baseman, you get him to field the baseball, that runner can walk to third. Now this is where you need the strikeout. Obviously a weak ground ball in the infield right at one of the infielders plays well, but this is when you start thinking about swing and miss.
So that infield in. Bowen at the plate. Signed with the Pirates out of high school, 11th round in 2019, Jace Bowen. Mentioned he debuted on June 2nd, so he's new to the bigs this month. 1-1 pitch to him. Nowhere near 2-1. The Pirates let him walk as a minor league free agent after last season. He signed a minor league deal with the Padres, and now because of some injuries, he gets this opportunity. Three and one. And a walk for Bowen. And you got to keep your eye on him. Another Padre with good speed. So they're at the corners.
A couple of stolen bases already in the big leagues, 121 of them in the minor leagues over those 7 seasons.
And here comes Walt Weiss. Tyler Kinley, just activated today, is getting hot in that Braves bullpen, and he is going to enter here in the 6th inning.
Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
Another gorgeous sunset tonight here in California. Tough spot right now for Tyler Kinley to return to, coming off the ILs. We taking a look at our Home Depot working on a win. Numbers this season, see there at the bottom, his first appearance, CJ, since June 7th.
Yeah, so I think for Walt, ideally he would have been able to bring Tyler Kinley in first game back with a clean inning. But he also looks at what's happening in this game right now, and this is a huge spot. And so he goes to Tyler Kinley. There's good history here. 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts against Fernando Tatis Jr. in his career.
Runners at the corners. One down. Bowen goes for second. He's going to get there easily. So 2 in scoring position. Padres got a single run in the 3rd, in the 4th, and in the 5th. The Braves got the 2-run homer by Bart in the top of this inning. And now they're hoping to keep it a 1-run deficit, but the Padres have other ideas here. Tatis to right, and it goes foul, thankfully.
Three straight sliders. We know that, of course, is the money pitch for Tyler Kinley. Now, he may take a chance. The thing that you watch when you're in the bullpen is also the tendencies of what has been called, right? He has a good fastball. He's got good velocity. He doesn't use it a lot. Also has the curveball, but you could take a chance elevating here above the zone to go for that punch out.
The righty is ready. 1-2. Struck him out. So his good numbers against Fernando Tatis Jr. continue. That's a big K.
That certainly is. It looked like Joey Bart probably wanted this down, but it works, right? Up high here. And for Fernando Tatis Jr., he's got to be concerned about that catching the top of the zone on the way down and getting called out on strikes. And instead, he swings and misses at it.
So 2 away. Samad Taylor at the plate. And he lands a slider, does Kinley. I was talking with Tyler yesterday in the clubhouse about his time off. Just said it was right on the fence of whether or not he needed an IL stint with just a little soreness. Ultimately, as a group, they decided to shut him down in the 15-day IL, but now he's back and thrust into a big spot. Joey Bart able to keep that in front.
We've seen a couple of times with the Braves. Obviously, they're doing it right now with Robert Suarez. They've done it with Michael Harris as well, right? Try to get a few days if you can. It's a little bit easier to do with the position players because it's only 10 days for position players. But for the pitchers, it's 15. That's a little bit more difficult to try to cover if you start thinking it's going to take 7, 8, or 9 days. So a tough decision, but I think long term, it was the right one.
He said that arm is feeling really good.
Missed the old 7-day DL, it used to be called back in the old days. Quick little vacation to get you right and you're right back in there.
You're back. Two balls, 1 strike. Fouled off. 2-2. Let's see if Kinley can get Taylor here and send this thing to the 7th.
Before they'd gotten to 2 strikes for Austin Riley, he had to play even with the bag because the bunt's still in play. This guy is a really good bunter. You get to 2 strikes, now he can bounce back here a little bit and give himself some more room on a ground ball.
Two men on, 2 men out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kinley deals to Taylor. To right field, and it drops in fair territory to score 2. A little soft bloop single.
It's a good pitch. It is extremely weak contact. Just 65 miles an hour off the bat here against Tyler Kinley. And this is a bad break. I mean, that hit the very end of the bat. That close to being a foul ball or even a swing and miss.
And just like that, the Padres had that 3-run lead back. Throw down at second. And they erase him. So Taylor, he's asking them to take a look. We'll see. It looked like he was tagged out. He's also favoring that left hand wrist.
Well, if it holds or if they don't challenge it, it'll be the first time in his career they are going to challenge it. He's not been thrown out yet.
For them to challenge that, you would have to think they feel very confident. But again, also have the issue where Taylor's.
San Diego is challenging the out call at second base.
He's grabbing at that thumb on his left hand.
Yeah, we'll see if he went into the bag hard, if that was the issue. Take a look at this, and it's close. I don't know if there's going to be enough there, at least first look. This will be your best one. I think they got him.
Yeah, I don't think you can change it.
He's out.
I think he's out.
The other thing I don't love about this, he goes first pitch. We see this all the time. Guys don't have enough time to get their oven mitts on, and you got that flap that's sitting out there too.
Yeah, I think he's out. And it might be one of those where if he was called safe, They might have kept it safe if the Braves had challenged.
I agree.
Here's a verdict.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Runner is out. San Diego moves to the field.
Trust the lawyer, Dan Bellino. 5-2 as we go to the 7th. Live look at the Battery back in Atlanta. We can't say the name of the event, but that soccer thing that's going on, you can go to the Battery to watch the matches and watch the Braves. So even when the Braves are not at home, reason to go out to the Battery at Truist Park.
Have you watched much of the live soccer event that's going on?
A little bit.
They send those guys to acting school. Is that a big part of what they do in soccer?
Wait, sorry. Gretchen was talking and I couldn't hear
That's
you.
fine.
Go ahead, caller.
As a professional soccer player, do you have to go to acting school as well?
Oh, yeah. It is part of it. Yeah. And Gretchen, did you tell me Korea is playing right now? So that's what Gretchen was telling me, and obviously Ha-Seong Kim probably has interest in that match.
So they're playing live right now. Let's see what time it is. In Korea, it's got to be, what, middle of the night there? No, it's 11:40 in the morning. That was close.
They are trailing 1-0 against South Africa. That was in on the hands of Ha-Seong Kim. Kim hit it deep to the warning track in center last time up. So still some Ha-Seong Kim jerseys around Petco Park. And 3 to the outfield for Kim tonight, but unfortunately 0 for 3. Quick message from Truist.
Leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist. Learn how knowledge and care can work for you.
Has been pretty cool back in Atlanta, though, with the matches that have been there, to see all the people from the different countries coming in. And
absolutely. At our version of the WBC, and you get to see all of these different fans and the way that they get excited about their sport for their country.
And the U.S. has already been able to advance. They're going to play in the, although they expanded this year, so 48 teams instead of 32 that started. 32 will advance, and the U.S. will be part of that 32. Mauricio Dubon 1 for 3 with a double.
Well, Braves got an off day tomorrow, guys, and Ozzie Albies already got his day planned. Curacau's playing at 1 o'clock Pacific against Ivory Coast. If they win, they're going to the knockout stage.
Which would be crazy for Curacao, and a really cool thing. Dubon is out. Good scoop by France over there at first base.
But when I was talking to him about it, he basically said, look, I had no interest in soccer until about the last 12 months when I found out they qualified, and now I can't get enough of it. In fact, he's getting a jersey sent to him. Keep in mind, they got their first World Cup point last Saturday, which, I'm not saying it's a coincidence, but that was the day that Ozzie hit the walk-off homer.
Oh, there you go. And Ozzie said he does know quite a few guys that are on the team. Bouncing foul to Antoine Richardson.
So as we've taken a look and try to figure out what the Padres will do bullpen-wise, mentioned Mason Miller, very likely down. 3 out of the last 4. Adrian Morejon, who we have seen in this series, also has thrown in 3 of the last 4. It's a 100-mile-an-hour fastball that you get from the left side. But Jason Adams is not pitching 3 days. That is another big arm that they have as a setup man. My guess is that he's probably their closer tonight.
In the other bullpen, Didier Fuentes up for Atlanta. Another foul ball here. Just got a piece of the curve, did Harris. On the carpet to Tatis. 1, 2, 3 go the Braves. It's time for the stretch. All right, you tell me, are we committing to the bid?
Always committed.
All right, coming up against the Giants in 2 days. What is it?
Friday Night Showdown.
Brought to you by Kaiser Permanente. Braves and Giants from San Francisco. Starting a 3-game series after the day off tomorrow, and hopefully we won't be jailed there.
Thought about going. That was one of the things on the list with the off day, but I think we're going to skip Alcatraz.
Wiley and I are going to try to swim over there and see how it works.
Yeah.
I hear there's a pretty strong current.
Have you ever been?
Have not.
Never done it.
Maybe I need to do it tomorrow. Didier Fuentes was warming up for the Bravos. He is now in this ball game here in the 7th.
So reliever wins, they don't matter, but we'd love to see Fuentes get another. He's got 4 of them right now on the season. His job is just to keep this game exactly where it is, give this offense a chance to come back.
Tough part of the order. 3, 4, 5. Now 2-0, and walks have plagued the Braves a bit tonight. 5 walks, and 3 of those walks have turned into runs. And now 3-0 from Fuentes. And a called strike. Don't throw that bat yet, Manny.
No challenges yet, right? Surprisingly, there's been a couple. Now, that one for me was a strike, but we've seen hitters on both sides disagreeing with some of the calls tonight, but nobody has challenged Dan Bellino.
They don't want to go after the lawyer. There's another walk. That is the 5th straight inning that the leadoff man has reached for the Padres. And unfortunately, in the last 4 innings, that leadoff man has scored.
Fuentes' control has been really good lately. Obviously, there's a walk there, but he had only walked 1 over his last 9 games.
Now trying to bounce back and get Bogaerts. And a good night for the 4-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger, Xander Bogaerts. Bouncer towards short. Kim flips it to second. To kid Manny Machado.
This was going to be a really tough turn with Ha-Seong Kim and how far he had to go. And to be able to get the ball out of his glove with anything on it, you want to make sure you get at least one. But you see how far over he is there. As he ranges to his left, he makes a nice play. And for Ozzie, the other part of this is the way you have to receive the throw, right? Because Ha-Seong Kim, by the time he's able to get rid of it, is on the second base side of the bag. And so the way Ozzie sets up, it's about getting the one out and unlikely able to make a turn.
Battle between a couple of pups here. 21-year-old pitcher, 23-year-old hitter. Toward the corner, but this one's going to tail foul and reach the seats. And Fuentes, newly minted 21-year-old, just turned 4 days ago on the 20th. So got that baby face. Merrill reaches for it, spoils the splitter.
It's a good one there. That split and that change that you kind of see from Didier Fuentes, still a little bit of a work in progress. That, for me, is the pitch that'll make a difference if he can get it right and he gets really consistent, whether or not he's going to be a starter and can be one, right? We know fastball slider, he can get through a lineup at least one time. It is a power arm. But it's the split that he still doesn't use that often and is mostly just to lefties that will be the difference maker.
Olsen knocked it down, but it got by him, and everybody's safe. Playing at the bag with Bogaerts over there, and it was coming in hot, and Matt Olson certainly frustrated with himself.
That would have been a great play. The ball was hit hard, 96 miles an hour here. You mentioned how close Matt Olson is, and it was a higher bounce maybe than he was anticipating. He was in position, but kind of stabbed out a little bit. And unfortunately, we see it so often where he gets those cleanly, but he could not come up with it.
So 2 on, 1 out. And a slider for a strike to Andujar. They do give Matt an error. So each team with 1 error tonight. This could be 2. 6, 4, 3, and just like that, all is okay. 5-2 as we head to the 8th.
Select with code BRAVES. When the Braves score, you score at Crystal.
So 5-2, 8th inning on a beautiful night here in San Diego. Let's take a look at our Toyota Trends feature of the game. All right, so we're showing you this because obviously June hasn't been what March, April, and May were, but no time like the present, CJ, to turn that around.
Plenty of time still the rest of this month. In this game, you got a couple of innings as well where you'd like to see that number kind of move in the right direction and back to where it has been. We've talked about kind of the 3 or 4 guys that have gotten it done here in the month of June, but it's been a little top-heavy right now in the lineup for the Braves.
And Wandy Peralta is the new pitcher, and Ozzie offers it the first pitch. Who's going to take this? It'll be the captain of the outfield, Merrill. So Peralta threw the first inning of the game yesterday as the opener, and he retired the Braves 1-2-3. Now he comes in a more traditional role for the reliever.
He has been really, really good here. Now, again, it's not a lot of swing and miss. You can see a very low strikeout rate at just around 16%, but the ERA at just 1.86 is pretty impressive. 3 home runs allowed over his 38 2/3 innings.
Matt Olson faced him yesterday and grounded out. And a little fact about Wandy Peralta is that he is absolutely terrified of flying, and he refuses to unbuckle his seatbelt at any point during the flight. And there's some funny stories online from when he was with the Yankees and the pranks that his team would play on him. They would get on the PA and say severe turbulence ahead and all the different things to make him even more scared.
I mean, that's just good teammates, right? You find a weakness, something that makes a guy nervous, and you just pound it home and try to make it worse.
Olsen hits this out of play.
I had a teammate, Danny Patterson, same situation. Absolutely hated flying, especially takeoffs and landing in particular. It was white knuckle the whole way, holding on to his armrests. And you're right, the clubhouse could be a cruel place.
Yeah. The Yankees were ruthless. Olsen the other way. So a couple of singles tonight for the Braves first baseman.
There's some of that left-on-left magic we were telling you about in our open today and how good the Braves have been. And Matt Olson has been right in the middle of all of it. This is a good pitch. It's 97. It's on the corner. Talk often about how well Matt Olson stays through the ball against lefties. And he drills that one with some authority. 109. He smoked it.
Austin Riley, 3 plate appearances tonight, yet to put the ball in play. 1 strikeout, then 2 walks for Austin. Weekly to first. It's going to stay fair. And France backing up for the second out. Olson in a scoring position. Well, Eli White was actually putting on a pretty good show during batting practice. I was standing next to Tim Hires. He was hitting home run after home run. 0 for 3 so far tonight.
We've seen that pop from Eli, and we know that when he barrels a baseball, he can hit it as hard as anybody. Be a good time for it.
Joey Bart with a 2-run homer. That's how Atlanta got the 2 runs. That was in the 6th. And Joey's on deck right now.
And most of what you get from Peralta is his 2-seamer and his changeup, meaning the ball's going to be running away. Not all the time. There's a slider in there as well. And the way the Padres have set this up is that Merrill is playing him shaded to right center. They don't think Eli's going to be able to pull him. There's a lot of room in that left center gap.
Hit it out to that Arco side, and Eli White could run for days. Peralta, the 11-year Major League veteran, with a 2-2 pitch. And now the count runs full. Ground ball towards Bogarts. And he tosses across. Olson is stranded. It is still 5-2. The frustration is building for the Bravos.
Helpful hardware, folks.
Vote to send the Braves to Philadelphia for the All-Star Game. Braves.com/vote. 20% off tickets to a future Braves home game if you designate your team as the Atlanta Braves when you vote. Gorgeous scenes here in San Diego. Unfortunately, the score is not as gorgeous right now for Atlanta. Padres going for the sweep, up 5-2. And at the bottom of the 8th, Ian Hamilton is going to come in. Just recalled today, and CJ, you mentioned it earlier, but just 1 appearance for him this year back in April.
Yeah, those are tough, right? When you get kind of one shot and unfortunately get sent right back down, but he was throwing the ball very well in the minor leagues. And we saw him last time. We talked about how good his slider was a couple of years ago. It was one of the better sliders in baseball. Ran into a little bit of trouble in his time in New York, and I'm trying to do something new here and get back on track with the Braves, and here's a good opportunity against the Padres.
7th batter in the order, Ty France, has had a big game for them. Homer, double, a couple of runs driven in. Padres drafted Ty France back in 2015. He debuted with the Padres in 2019, but then he was traded to the Mariners in 2020, and that's the team that he has had most of his major league time with. But now he's got a second stint here in San Diego. coming off winning a Gold Glove at first base last year in the American League. As he swings through the slider to even the count. And Hamilton strikes him out. Good slider.
Best one of the group, right? There was a couple of there that were slightly elevated, but he makes a nice adjustment and puts this in that perfect location, right on right, down and away to get the swing and miss. He had nearly a 50% whiff rate on that slider when he was in the minor leagues this year. It's a big number.
Last time he pitched, you and I discussed it, CJ, but yeah, the struggles last year in New York, you go back to 2023, he had a really solid season for them.
He did, and it was all about that slider. And then last year, the New York Yankees added a lot of relievers at the deadline. He kind of got pushed out, wasn't having a great year, finished the rest of the year in the minor leagues.
Here's that same pitch. After all that, the Braves signing Hamilton to a one-year deal back in December. Gavin Sheets has grabbed a bat. He has moved into the on-deck circle. So he is going to hit for Jace Bowen.
Give you an idea of how tight that slider is, right? You got Permine, who's ahead in the count, and chase that one that was about a foot off the plate.
There you go again. That slider is working. 2 strikeouts now for Hamilton. A message from Zaxby's.
Zaxby's Giant Wraps, Chicken Bacon Ranch, Asian Sensation, and Buffalo Blue. Who's got the sauce?
So Sheets will be the pinch hitter. It is Jason Adam that is warming up right now for San Diego, ready to come in for the night. Again, their star closer Mason Miller is down tonight because of being used 3 of the last 4. The chant that you hear is "Holy Sheets" or Gavin Sheets.
Don Arcillo next door. No matter what Gavin Sheets does, anything good that happens, that is his call.
Yes, it is. Riley sprinting back and over. Out of room.
Earlier today, I saw a sign. A kid was holding it up. It was a silhouette of Gavin Sheets, and it said, "Holy Sheets, it's my birthday."
Well, hopefully there's no Holy Sheets moment here. 1-2. Just a bouncer to second, and Holy Sheets. Hamilton has a 1-2-3 8th inning. Braves need 3 in the 9th.
Feel really lucky to be an A-list member.
Joey Bart's home run from the 6th inning. Our Whataburger, what a play.
It's big at the time, big moment for him, as we talked about personally, being an Atlanta guy, Georgia Tech, all of it. At the time, it put the Braves within 1, but now they trail here by 3.
And Joey Bart will be leading off with Baldwin behind him. And it's Jason Adam, all-star last year, who is going to be asked to get the save here with Miller down tonight.
And none on the season, but he has had a few over the last couple of years, has Jason Adam. Now, it's a good arm, but he relies heavily on his slider and his changeup. And this is a guy who's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. The previous 2 seasons, he had a sub-2 ERA. Still a really good one here at 2.5.
And a great night for Joey Bart. Braves need a base runner right now, any way they can get it. Now defensively, Tatis moved out from second to right, and Song enters the game at second base. So that's the new alignment for the San Diego Padres as they try to give Atlanta their first 3-game sweep of the season. Braves and the Dodgers, the only teams that have not been swept in a 3-game series this year. And then Atlanta also, if they lose this, will lose 4 straight. They have not done that this year. That pitch misses, 2-1. The White Sox, the only other team in baseball, kind of surprising, along with the Braves that have not suffered a 4-game skid here yet in 2026. Slowly to second. Song, who just came into the game, makes the play. 1 down.
Got to correct that, by the way. 1 save for Jason Adam this season.
And he's 2 outs from a second.
What makes him so tough, and you can see it in the arm swing, is how short he is, right? So when you're talking slider and changeup kind of being your top 2 pitches, hitters will always tell you they're tougher to pick up on when you have a guy that we kind of call to the ear, right? Hand out of the glove, and he's up quickly.
It's been a heck of a run for this pitcher, Jason Adam, going back to the 22 season. I mentioned first-time All-Star last year, but he's put up some good numbers as a Padre. Slider, swing and a miss by Baldwin, 1-2. Dom Smith is in the on-deck circle, so he will pinch hit for Kim. Innocent pop, shallow to the outfield grass. 2 away in the top of the 9th. And Dom Smith will be the last hope here for Atlanta. San Diego an out away from the sweep here of the Atlanta Braves. Also trying to hand the Braves their 9th straight loss here at Petco Park. Slider downstairs. Two balls and 2 strikes. Great crowds, great atmosphere all 3 nights. And everybody's standing here in San Diego. Tapped to short. Ball game over. And for the first time this year, the Braves have lost 4 in a row.
And this ballpark continues to be an issue for the Atlanta Braves. And for Martin Perez, it felt like he was battling through after getting hit by that line drive. Unfortunately, off of his right leg, it seemed to affect the command and kind of put the Braves behind the 8 ball. And unfortunately, they end up dropping this one. Off day tomorrow, though. We get up to San Francisco and we keep grinding to get it right.
Final thoughts from Petco Park when we return.
Refinancing. It's all right here during the Rooms to Go July 4th sale.
Well, the Braves swept in a 3-game series for the first time since August of last year as the Padres win it here tonight. 5-2 is the final. Nick and Pete will take you the rest of the way from back in Atlanta. We will join you again after the off day on Friday. We'll be back on the air from San Francisco. As always, we appreciate our great crew for their work here over the last couple of days. For Waddy Ballard, for CJ Nitkowski and the rest, I'm Brandon Gaunt signing off and saying